you're watching To The Point and I'm Anjana Om Kashyap. 4 a.m. before dawn, Bahubali fans waiting for their mega release. Cut to another location. Scene 2. Arm twisting between the producers and the distributors of the film. Climax scene. Negotiation not settled and the film's 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. show in Tamil Nadu cancelled. Fans feel cheated. Go berserk. Police arrives on the scene. What is this? In this blackmailing tactics between the producers and the distributors, why should fans lose out? And if this was not enough, piracy begins. Parts of Bahubali 2 have been recorded in theatres and leaked online. Take a look at this report and then we begin the debate.
28th April, release date of Bahubali, the epic conclusion. The day cinema goers were waiting to find out the answer to the question of the millennium. But the excitement turned into disappointment for thousands as the first shows of the day till 11 a.m. were all cancelled by the cinemas. This was due to a tussle between film distributors and the producers of Bahubali, apparently due to unsettled finances. The distributors of Bahubali in Tamil language had not paid dues of 15 crore rupees to the producers of the film. In return, the producers denied permission to the distributors to release the film early for the early morning shows. The decision was made late Thursday, which did not give distributors time to make the payment as banking hours were over. As a result, 4:11 a.m. were cancelled, leaving moviegoers stranded and very angry.
What led them to have a morning show at that time? When the producer has clearly told us it will clear only after 10 o'clock in the morning. So the theatre owners by themselves have opened in the morning and disappointed the public. There is no way the producer or the distributor are responsible. I am the distributor.
Police had to resort to lathi charge outside the Rohini Theatre to disperse ticket holders who had gathered at 4 a.m. this morning. Well, if you think that this was the only controversy which surrounded Rajamouli's epic, then you are wrong. Bahubali also became victim of piracy as the climax scene recorded by a mobile camera is already being circulated on social media.
I know that India has so many people who are just genuine, passionate moviegoers that they will want to watch it in the theatres. Of course, it's sad that the piracy does happen and producers are investing so much money into the film.
Earlier, Bahubali had hit another setback as the film faced trouble in releasing in Karnataka with some local fringe groups demanding an apology from Kattappa Satyaraj over some remarks he had made 10 years ago on the Kaveri water issue. Bureau Report, India Today.
From what we're getting to know, the dispute has not been settled as yet and this film could run into some further problems if it doesn't happen tonight. The big question is, why should fans lose out? Because the distributors turn greedy or the producers are not able to pay up the money or the distributors are still looking forward to paying the 20 crores and the producers are saying, give us the money, otherwise we will block the film in Tamil Nadu. The big questions that we're asking, but before that, we have some visuals for you. This is how the climax scene of the film has actually gone viral. We're not showing you the parts, but we've mosaicked it for you. But the climax scenes have actually been leaked out and these clips are going viral. Now, this is how the economics of this actually gets hit, Piracy targets such beautifully made films, which is actually being seen as the Sholay of our times. That's going to be hit by this piracy. To talk on this, now we have a whole panel of guests. Let me introduce you to the guests. We are joined by Bahubali actor Tamanna Bhatia, who's actually played Avantika in this film. So welcome, Avantika. Tamil film producer and distributor Anbalaya K. Prabhakaran, actor Gayatri Raghuram, film critic Latha Srinivasan and proprietor of K Productions and distributor of Bahubali 2, S.N. Rajarajan. My first question to you, Tamanna, is that in the entire fight, 4 a.m. in the morning, when it's still dark, these fans actually queue up outside cinema halls to watch a movie. They feel cheated. And in this case, actually the distributors still have to pay about 15 to 20 crores to your producers. That is why the producers stopped the film. Now, what fault is it of these fans?
Yeah, I just feel bad that I know how fondly everybody's been waiting for this film, and there are such loyal, loving fans for this film and for this franchise and for all the actors that are on this film. It is unfortunate. I mean, that's the only thing I could say about it. But I guess sometimes the situations are such that it's inevitable. But yeah, I wish it could have been prevented.
Tamanna, the problem is that actors, filmmakers, producers are soft targets. And it's not the first time this is happening, not just in Tamil Nadu, but in Bollywood as well. We've seen this happening very often. Are actors, filmmakers soft targets, Tamanna?
There's so many things that are involved in I think when these kind of things happen, it's not just one element. There's so many reasons for why these things happen. So yeah, I think actors are often soft targets for not only this but for a lot of things. But yeah, I just feel bad because there's so much money riding on movies, and especially a film like this, and just so many expectations that are not met.
Okay, Tamanna, we'll come to you with the piracy issue, but before that, I want to go to Latha once. And Latha, my question to you is, you've seen how this film has happened, and the producer actually tweeted saying the film was sold to A distributor, A at a profit sold it to B, B at a lesser profit sold it to C, if we can have those tweets up on air. And then C was not able to pay up because he was going through an economic crisis. He actually asked A to give it at a lesser price. The distributors of the film are yet to pay up the disputed amount, which is 15 to 20 crores, because rough numbers are coming out from different quarters. Now, that amount is still outstanding there, and the dispute has not been resolved. And who pays? The fans of the film.
Right. You know, Anjana, you're absolutely right at the end of the day that it's the fans who pay, because in the business of films, ultimately it's the fan who has lost out, because those who woke up at, 4 o'clock to go to the shows at 5 a.m. and who stood in queues for long hours to get those tickets, ultimately didn't get to see the shows, the film. They came home disappointed, and they again have to stand in queue to buy these tickets.
There was a lathi charge.
Exactly.
But this is not acceptable.
It's absolutely not acceptable. And in the business of films, where one distributor buys it from a producer and then sells it to another for a profit, and this chain has affected, Bahubali is not the first film to be affected by it. In fact, this problem has arisen for several films in the past in the Tamil film industry, and yet, the same mistake is repeated again. Is this greed? I really don't know. I think that's a question you should be asking.
Absolutely. No, I've been asking that, and I'm waiting for one of the distributors to come online, because that's the big question that we want to raise. Just for your greed, you play around with the emotions of fans. I mean, imagine if somebody was to catch a film at 5, I'm sure he woke up around 3:30, because then he has to travel around 4:30, go for the film. We know how it is. That's the kind of madness and craze for this film, and then you feel cheated. Gayatri, I'm sure you as an actor must have faced this or seen this up close. This is a problem now. You cannot cheat on the fans like this. You have to behave professionally. You can't for your greed, 15 crores, I cannot pay, I'm in an economic crisis, or last of the last day, and they know that they can do these blackmailing tactics on the last day of the release, because they know the producers are desperate to get their films across to the screens.
Yes, I think our producer council should take a step and stop these kind of actions happening by the distributors or even the theatres. I think even the theatres take the huge responsibility of putting up the movies releasing at this time. I think they should take a responsibility. I think producer council should take an action.
Absolutely, but producers council, take an action or no action. From what I know, Latha, you've been in touch through Twitter with the producer of this film, and he himself said that it's pure greed. Now, how does one handle this? What are you getting? What is your inside information saying? Because the dispute doesn't seem to be over as of now. Latha.
Yeah, you're right. The dispute is still not over. Negotiations are still taking place. And from what I know, they're trying to solve this problem because the KDM, the license has been issued only for today. So what happens to the shows tomorrow? At Satyam Cinemas, in fact, they have 106 shows on Saturday, Sunday and Monday. And it's very unfortunate that, that this issue was not resolved before the April 28th, which was the day of the release of the film. And excuse me, and like Gayatri said, I think the Tamil Nadu Film Producers Council should do something about it. They should step in and prevent this from happening in future.
What can they do?
I think there should be certain clauses put in place, in these contracts when these films are sold, that if the money is not settled by a certain date, right, then the movie is sold to another distributor, right? Today, everybody is trying to make, the most money. So traditional distributors, from what I've learned, stayed away from buying this film because the cost was very high. And therefore, there were newer producers, unknown, relatively unknown people who came in, and they've been buying a lot of films. And therefore, when in such a situation, you're not too sure whether these business deals will go through. And that's what has happened in this case.
Absolutely. Gayatri, my problem is not that the producer wants more money or the distributor thinks he can get the film for less. That's not a problem. The problem is the fans being cheated. And because of these cancellation of 2 shots, if we can have those visuals played, there was lathi charge.
Absolutely, because they paid so much of money.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, and it should be condemned because they paid for the ticket and they came there. They came to watch the film. They've been waiting for this film for a very long time, and it is so unfortunate how these kind of actions should be taken over the fans because they hardly did anything. It's not a crime for them to come and wait over there and they do a lathi charge over there, and that's absolutely nonsense. And I think that should not be there. And they are so betrayed by not watching this film, and so much of hard work and so much of thing is put in this film, and after first part the conclusion has come here, and everybody wants to know why Katappa killed Bahubali and everything. Everybody is so anxious about watching this film and everything, and now it's such a betrayal thing that they couldn't watch the film in the
Gayatri, look at these visuals. It was still dark when these people had actually queued up outside the cinema hall to watch this movie, and then you do this to them.
I think the police and even the political people have to take, the state government has to take a step on this, and even the government has to take a step on the money, even including the black tickets and everything they're selling, and then they, finally they don't get to watch the film, and it is so going out of hand, I can say, and it's happening only for the big films, especially like Ajit sir's film or Vijay sir's film or Kamal sir's film, and this is not happening for the first time. It's been happening over the period.
Okay. We have with us now Mr. Anbalaya K. Prabhakaran. We're waiting for him rather to join us because the big questions were actually for the producers and the distributors today. Look at these visuals. Can we play them full screen, please? For a film, this is what is happening. For a film, these are fans who had come to watch a film. This is Ishwar Theatre in Hyderabad. Just imagine. The film is not being played because of this crisis, and then there is lathi charge on these fans who had come to watch. So you can't do this. Either the film producers and distributors should have sorted this beforehand, or else they have to find out a better way to deal with fans who are waiting. You have to see how it's a frenzy, it's a craze for people there. Bahubali 2 is the big Sholay of our times actually. People are so enthusiastic. The big question that people are asking each other today is, why did Katappa kill Bahubali? And with that kind of craze, if this is what is happening, there's a big question on how far can greed go? And that is the big question that these visuals are asking. Actually, I'm waiting for Mr. Rajan and Prabhakaran. I'm sure they know that there are going to be some very serious questions before them. That is why probably they're not joining us. The problem has not been sorted. We know this also, Latha. Where do you see this going? Are the producers and distributors going to be able to sort it tonight? Because otherwise there could be a problem tomorrow as well. And with the weekend coming, it's going to be bigger actually.
Absolutely, and I think they will definitely work hard towards resolving this tonight, because see, at the end of the day, this is a very big film, you know, and like you said, a lot of hard work and passion and, you know, has been put into this film, and it's not a small budget film. You know, they've spent over 250 crores on this film, and the fans have been waiting for 2 years to finally see it on the big screen, and it's very unfortunate that this had to happen, you know, on the big day. And so definitely they're going to resolve this issue and ensure that, you know, things go smoothly over the next 3 days, because it's a long, even Monday's a holiday. So everybody's eagerly waiting to see it, you know, so they're definitely going to resolve it.
Okay, now the other issue that we wanted to talk about, and also that, like you said, the actors have put in 5 years of their life, you know, when they're at the peak of their career. Actors like Prabhas or Tamanna, as we see, a lot of hard work has gone behind this film. It's not a normal film that you are able to finish over a period of 6 months or 1 year. They've put in a lot of hard work. And then, if some parts, okay, the film has not been leaked, but some parts, some clips of the film have actually been recorded and then leaked online. Now, we want to show you these visuals. We've actually mosaiced them so that we don't let out the secret. But the point is that how can you do this? Section 43B 66 of the IT Act, Section 63 of the Copyright Act prohibits anyone from doing this. Then why is it that the cybercrime cell, or if you look at the IT cell that we have in the country, why can't they catch hold of such people? Every time a film is leaked like this, we make a huge hue and cry, and then we all sit back. Amir Khan has raised this issue of piracy over and over again, but no action is taken. Therefore, Lata, my question to you is, how can we handle piracy in this country? Because this is actually going to, this video has actually gone viral now. What does one say, Lata?
You know, you're right, Anjana. You know, piracy is such a big problem. I read in the Hindu, you know, recently that last year the Indian film industry, you know, made $2 billion, but then it lost $2.7 billion to piracy. Now, the thing is that it's the smaller films which are hit more by piracy than the bigger films. Because today, in fact, at the theatre, I met a young guy who said he saw Bahubali 2 already, a pirated copy of it. And I said, so why are you at the theatre? And he said, no, because such a movie has to be enjoyed on the big screen. You know, so there are people, though they've seen the pirated clips, they're coming to the theatre to watch this film because of the magnitude of the film. But there more has to be done to curb piracy. You know, you're absolutely right. And I don't think enough steps are being taken, you know, despite the fact that we have an IT Act, etc. I think the film industry and the stakeholders in the film industry have to get together and work together to ensure that there's no piracy. I think that's important.
Absolutely. Before I go to Mr. K. Rajan, who is a senior actor and producer, he's joined us. I want to come to you once, Tamanna. Piracy, a huge problem. Do you think it's going to affect the film, or you think for the big screen experience, people are going to flock to the theatres?
Correct. Yeah, it's I don't know why we are not able to crack this, because it's a constant trouble, not only for Bahubali, but for every film that comes out. You know, on day one, people already have, you know, in fact, everything is almost being posted online all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wish there was something that was taken more seriously in terms of, you know, in terms of stopping piracy. But I think at this point of time, what we can do is only request the audience to, you know, refrain from doing this, because it's just so many people's hard work, and there's so much money gone into it of the producers and the creative and emotional and so many things that are, you know, making a movie. So, I mean, at this point, we can only request the audience to refrain from doing that, and simultaneously find a way out of this, because it's a constant problem for every film that comes out today.
It has to be both ways. It has to be both ways. People have to be educated on this and realize that you are not allowed to do this. And also for that big screen experience, people should actually go to a theatre. You can't be part of this entire piracy racket that we have in our country. K. Rajan, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a producer. I know you're a senior actor, but also if you know distribution up close, My question to you is, in this entire conflict between producers and distributors on the last day, it's the fans who lose out. What do we do? How do we handle this greed? Because the distributors were supposed to pay 15 to 20 crores. They stopped it on the last day. The producers blocked the film. It was not allowed to release at 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. Shows. The fans were out there waiting since 4 a.m. Mr. Rajan.
I can't get your audio.
Mr. Rajan, can you hear me now?
I would like to first clarify.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
I would like to clarify first that I'm an actor. I'm not a distributor or a producer, and I'm an actor.
Okay, sir.
What this particular problem which has been reported between the producers and the distributors is something which has happened in the past also.
Yes.
But what happens is when a movie of this scale, Bahubali, you know, this has been expected, and Bahubali 1 had created such a hype. And, you know, the fans... I mean, what is the hype? The hype is what the fans are.
Yeah.
And when the fans were in for such a hype, it was for the producers and the distributors to have come. Now, the producers also, they do know that the distributors have to clear this due. They should have taken up this issue 48 hours before, 28 hours before. I mean, this should be cleared before. There should be some regulatory on this. Because what way the fan is accepted? The fan doesn't know anything. You see, even today, I'll tell you, at 8 o'clock, there was, you know, this is particularly in Tamil Nadu. I don't know how the other parts of India act. The fan frenzy is what makes the whole movie watchable in Tamil Nadu. You know, you should come to a theatre and see what happens when this fan go for a movie. The nerve center lies there. They are not aware of this distributors and producers problem. And when this happens, there needs to be some regulation where before the release of a movie, at least 24 hours before, all these things are, I mean, cleared out. Because who is responsible today? The producer or the distributor? The producer can say, I didn't get the money. The distributor can say whatever things, but what the fan wants to know is why were they put into such a problem? You know, this needs to be answered. A regulation is required. Who will regulate this? We can debate this, but there need to be a regulatory body because this needs to be done 24 hours before release. Now, because Bahubali, there's so much money into it, but more than this, there must so much of fans. I'm talking on behalf of the fans. There must so much of expectations from the fans, you know. And then about all this, the piracy coming in. I mean, it leaves a very bad taste for a movie of such a large scale.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is a pride of India. I would say Bahubali is a pride for India today. I mean, this is a big release today. India can proudly look up towards the outside world and say, here's a movie that, you know, we are releasing and the fans are enjoying. Because, you know, on one hand, you rarely have commercial hits which the fans also enjoy, and it's a commercial hit. This is a very rare spectacle happening. And all this kind of things leaves a very bad taste. I think there needs to be some regulation, even for a producer or a distributor, 24 hours before all this need to be settled and reported to a regulator that these things are clear, and then the fans have to be seen. I think that's what...
No fan should be turned back from the theatre just because the distributor and the producers could not sort out their issues. Now, this is the first. The rights for this film were sold for 47 crores, which is the highest for any non-Rajinikanth film. That's the amount of money that's, you know, being driven in this film. And that is why, if you decide to get greedy, this is for the distributor or the producer. If you decide to get greedy, do it a few days before the release of the film. Because it's the fans who make your film, it's the fans who drive that frenzy or that craze that make a Bahubali or a Bahubali 2 so big. And you cannot have them chased out of the cinema theatre and sent back home at 4 a.m. in the morning. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me in this debate. Keep watching India Today.